What's crappening, everybody? Zimbabwe of the Odangaroos, and I'm going to tell you a little bit of a story and have a little bit of a review. But first things first, nothing about this is sponsored. I'm not paid in any way. I'm just making this video because I'm enthusiastic about this stuff. Okay? Cool. Now that we've established that, let me drive this enthusiasm bus. Let's go. So, I am of Nordic descent. So, when I found that out, when I was fairly young, I was like, hey, that's pretty cool. So, let's learn about Nordic people. So, inherently, Vikings is where I ended up. Much like many other people who are both just either into the culture or are also of Nordic descent or whatever, that, hey, whatever. So that's not the point. So the more research I did, I ended up coming to a YouTube channel, and it was actually fairly recently because I'm not really up until recently much into YouTube. I'm a knife maker, so I don't really do much video stuff. I'm not very good at it. That's why everything I record is on my phone. So like I spend most of my time doing things like this. So I don't do a whole lot of YouTubery, but every once in a while I get on YouTube, and I finally found a YouTube channel. And this YouTube channel is of a man by the name of Jackson Crawford. I highly recommend you look him up if you are into Nordic culture. And this is where my story gets fun for me. So I start watching his videos, and I find out that he was a professor at, let's see if I can remember all of them. He always says it in the beginning of the video. Now I can't remember. He's Berkeley and CU Boulder. I know that. Which the one that really caught my attention was CU Boulder, because I live about 30 minutes from there. Now I know a lot of people are going to say, what do you mean 30 minutes from there? Well, I live actually, there's a highway that goes right towards that campus, and and on the highway it takes me about at 70 miles an hour, so it takes me about 10 minutes to get from where I live to the campus he teaches at, taught at. I think he's actually now going to be doing something else there. He's no longer going to be teaching Nordic studies, but he is writing books, and he is continuing to make YouTube videos, which is awesome because I love his YouTube videos. I watch them first thing every morning. Now that I have found his YouTube channel, because he's very, very articulate and he's very intelligent, and it's not like a normal like history lesson type thing where it's like on this map, it's not. He's not boring. He's actually, you're like, wow. He when he talks about stuff, you're like, whoa, I didn't know that. Well, holy crap, I didn't know that either. That's pretty cool. So the more I watched, then I found out, I came across a video where he says, hey, I've written a book. And I said, oh, I had to get it. I looked at the lady and I said, Jackson Crawford wrote a freaking book. And she says, yeah? I was like, yep, I have to have it. I was like, I love his videos. I got to see what he wrote. And so I went and I got myself his edition of The Wanderer's Havamal. And that is what I have spent the last 4 minutes getting to. Would be this bad mammal jammal. And it's the hard copy because I liked his videos so much. I wanted to make sure I got the good book. So, well, I mean, it is obviously a good book, but I mean like the high-end version of the book. I also have somebody else. Let's see here. Andy Orchard is the translated and edited is this copy that I have, and it's a soft copy, and it is the Poetic Edda, the Elder Edda, not the Havamal, but the Havamal is in here, and that's actually marked that page, the piece of paper, my sticky note of knowledge. Now, I want to say, first and foremost, I started reading this book. I haven't touched that book. This book is so much easier to read than a lot of other copies that I've read, and that, you know, like I've looked over with some of my friends and this sort of thing. When going over this, it's like if you had never watched any of his videos, you'd go over this and go, wow, whoever wrote this really knows what they're talking about, and he does. It's very obvious in here through the translations, the way that he breaks down like how translations actually work. He actually explains all of that in the beginning of this book, and I am actually looking forward very much so to getting his other books that he has written and is writing. So I highly recommend this if you're big into Nordic culture. He goes through, and not only when does he break down and have the Old Norse version of the stanza, but he has then the translation on the other side. It's really cool, I think. So here I've got this page marked here. You can kind of check this out. Try to get you a good image if I can. But on one side here is the Old Norse, the other side is in English, in modern English. I don't know if you could read any of that, probably not, but you can kind of see how it's written. If you do not have this book and you're big into Nordic culture, get it. It's not even an option. This is like a must-have because it's awesome. Say you wanted to introduce somebody kind of to the themes of like what being, you know, into heathenry or being a Sautru or whatever, however you describe yourself, right? If you wanted to introduce somebody to this and you say, check out how neat this culture actually is, how much they actually knew, and the way that they pass down stories and that kind of thing, like the information that's in here, things. I'll read one real quick here. This is stanza 39, and it reads, I have never met a man so generous nor so hospitable that he would not welcome repayment, nor have I met a man so giving that he'd turn down a thing offered in return. That's pretty easy to read. That's it's very simple, it's very easy to understand, whereas the same stanza in this other book reads very differently, and it's a lot harder for people. I bring my younger brother over and I read the Havamal with him. He's very interested. He likes this version so much more than any other version that we've gone over with him. He says this is a lot easier for him to digest, and so that's a huge bonus of that. Is it's easy to read, it's easy to understand, and it contains a ton of information on like pronunciations, how translations came about, how he interprets things. That's all the way back through here. He goes through and explains like how he interpreted things and what different things are called when they nobility in the Nullby runestone, 500 ADs. We read Runo, and that's towards the back. It is a Runo divine origin, that sort of thing. This book is hands down the best version of Havamal that I have ever found, and I highly recommend it for anybody who's really big into Nordic culture. And again, this is not sponsored. I've never met Jackson Crawford, even though I live like right down the road from where he works. I've never even met the guy. I need to get this signed. But that's beside the point. I don't know Jackson Crawford. I've not been asked to make this video. I've been reading over this book and I wanted an excuse to talk about it, and this is my excuse to talk about it because it's an awesome book. And even when you take, this is, like I said, this is the hardcover, so this is actually just a cover. I'll be really gentle with it here. But the actual cover is just simple, but that's awesome. That's cool. I like that. This book makes me smile. No, really though. If you're into Nordic culture, go to Jackson Crawford's YouTube channel. Click on any one of his videos. There's a link in his description. Purchase this book or any one of his other books. They're awesome. He does a really, really good job. And I would highly recommend subscribing to his channel if you're into that sort of thing and you're not already. I would highly recommend that if you're into learning like Nordic culture or just history things or that sort of thing. I'm not being asked to do this. I'm not being paid to make this video or anything. I just really enjoy what he does, and I am in full support of what he does and what he is about. And I think that books like this are suitable for everybody. They're good knowledge for the fam. And with that, everybody, stay beautiful. Dangaroos out.